Hey, g'day everyone. Welcome to Friday the 13th from the future with nese and me. Luna, how yous going? I'd like to introduce you to nese. Where's the camera? And forgive all my technical. There we go.
Bonjour,
Hey everyone.
Nene.
Hey nese, how are you?
I am as fantastic as the universe allows, and even a little bit better being here with you in the future, or in the past, or
In the
at
past.
this moment.
Hey. So what we've got for you tonight is some stuff about Friday the 13th and how it come about and some stories, and it should be fun, I hope.
Dun, dun, dun. The Friday the 13th.
Is it lucky or is it unlucky? That's what we want.
Scary, scary.
It's
Is it
scary.
scary, though? Or do we make it scary? Have you ever had a unlucky Friday the 13th?
Actually, I haven't. I find it lucky. I find the number 13 lucky.
Right.
So
Well, 13, that's the number
13, isn't that a 4? Oh, you still there, Nose? Oh no, I lost him. Hello. Yep, and he'll be back in a second. His device disconnected. That's okay. So the 13th, let's have a look at some stuff about the Friday the 13th. Nason's going to tell you a story about Friday the 13th, by the way. So, what do we got? I'll start off with some weird stuff from around the world. We have from Italy. In Italy, Friday the 17th is considered a day of bad luck, not Friday the 13th. The 13th in Italy is typically considered as a lucky number. See, that's what I thought. It's a lucky thing. And that's in Italy. In Spain, Tuesday the 13th, or Martes Trece, is the day of bad luck in Spain and other Spain-speaking countries. So, wow, that's different. It's so funny that different places. Traditionally, we don't have a Friday the 13th here in Australia. That come with the ships. In Mexico, pearls are often worn by brides in American weddings, but a Mexican bride would not dare wear pearls on her wedding day. Doing so would be the cause of bad luck and tears throughout the marriage. Wow. And we got one more, and then we're going to try and get Nase back. In Poland, ladies, here he's back now. Look, hey Nase,
back now.
hey, you're back now.
Sorry about that. My whole I did the very poor amateur on air thing where I forgot to turn on my do not disturb. And then somebody called me, and lo and behold, it kicked me off of the call with you. And so I'm sorry. Forgive me.
That's
Such an
okay.
amateur move.
That's okay, because I had a bit of material here, and I just read out Italy, Spain, and Mexico. What they have, Italy doesn't consider 13 unlucky number. It's actually lucky. They consider 17. And just as I finished, I said, we're going to get you back, and you popped back in. So there you go.
Oh, some nice timing there.
It was perfect timing. That's what it's all about. And I think,
So
mate, go.
so before I was amateurish, I was talking about the number 13. And ironically, for the indigenous people of my ancestry, the Anishinaabe people, we talk about 13 as a significant number, especially if you look at the back of a turtle, there is 13 segments of the turtle. And this is a representation of the 13 lunar cycle
There's 13
of
segments
the
of
of the year, where there's 13 moons in a year. So we enjoy the number 13. And then I think if we look at in the whole aspect of it, we have the zodiac. Well, allegedly there's 13 zodiacs now. And then if you think of Jesus and his disciples, that's 12 and 1, there's 13. However, from my geez, do I call it research? Because it's more of a hobby for me. Within my hobby of trying to find the truth and looking for the significance of all of these coincidence, synchronicities, I found that on 1307, October 13, Friday, that the Pope of France, or excuse me, the King of France and the current Pope decided they wanted all of the riches of the Knights Templar. And they secretly made a agreement that on Friday the 13th at sunrise, around the European area, that they would go and round up all of the Knights Templar.
Wow.
And so they did this, and they tortured and murdered many Knights Templar. They were calling them sodomists. They were calling them heretics, and they just a total smear campaign against them. Irony, though, is that that morning when they went to go and gather all of their riches on their ships, because at that time the Knights Templar had the largest fleet known, and the entire fleet of France disappeared. Allegedly, one third went up to Scotland and created the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and then one third went to New York, or Old York of England, and they became the York Brethren, or the York Society, Freemasons. And one third went to the Caribbeans. And that is why they knew all about North and South America, because they used to hang out in the Caribbeans because it was an easy, once you navigated the area of the Caribbeans, it was easy to outrun any other ships, because if you knew the lay of the water, where all the hazards are when it comes to sailing, then they were able to outmaneuver ships that weren't familiar with the area. But yeah, that's where it originated from through my research on it.
Wow. Wow. Well, I had an article here. It was about the Norseman law. Um, I had a better one, but basically it said um, 12 gods came together for a dinner party in Valhalla. Loki and mischievous gods crashed the party as the 13th guest, bringing all sorts of mayhem in his wake. Typical party goers, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, it's that whole, the significance of 13,
Mm-hmm.
but then all of a sudden, as time progresses on, and people talk about, oh, that Friday the 13th, how unlucky it was, then the superstition builds. And as we all know and experience, that when you hear something enough, even if it's not true, you'll start to believe it. And so I think during the ages, the social conditioning of Friday the 13th, eventually it came to be looked at as a superstitious time frame. And so, lo and behold, here it is, Friday the 13th. People woke up pondering how unlucky are they going to be, to the point of where I would imagine some people are to the extent of where I'm not even going to leave my home today.
Well, Well, yesterday was our Friday the 13th, and I noted my day because, like I said, I normally have a lucky day. Um, it started out, the weather was cloud. So if this is a forecast, no, it was kind of cloudy but warm, which was nice. And I had to go into town. I thought this is going to be interesting. But the reason I had to go into town was to pay the tax man. And that was like a bummer for the beginning of the day. And I thought, this is going to be interesting. How's this day going to pan out? So I started walking in there. And it was so beautiful, nese. First, this guy, you know, them electric chairs they get about in these days instead of, they're not electric wheelchairs, they're like little motorised.
The little scooters.
Yeah, fella in there, and he's like, "How you going?" I've been good, and I'd walk past him, and he'd catch up to me, and then he'd go in front of me, and I'd catch up to him, and he gets next to me, and he goes, "We got to stop meeting like this." I said, "Yeah, we do, don't we?" And that was really funny. And I met a man with this dog, and the dog loved me, and was sitting there going, "Roo, roo, roo, roo," and I thought, I haven't even met you, and you're crying for me, so I went up and gave it a pat and told her how beautiful she was, and that. So that was lovely. What else did I do? Oh yeah, and then I got home and my back veranda was in a bad state, and the fellas came to fix it up, and it was like, oh, this is a really good sign after a happy day. Now I've got some creative stuff happening, and it's fixing things. So to me, that's like, you know, sorting things out in my life and for everyone around us. Then that happened, and then the evening. Oh, then my greatest triumph was to figure out how to do all this last night. So my Friday the 13th actually was a total triumph, I would say.
So
So
I'm going to take that as a forecast for our Friday the 13th here in the States, United States of
I'm wishing,
confusion. I mean, United States of America.
I'm wishing it for you.
That it's a just fine and dandy time, and we don't have to be caught up in superstitions because, you know, superstitions can sometimes be paralyzing. You know, I mean, we were discussing this, you know, off air. You know, like a simple superstition that correlates with Friday the 13th, like when you witness a black cat.
Yep.
You know, there's individuals that'll see a black cat, and right away they'll be, you know, I can't remember. Oh dang it! There was something that you could do to reverse the curse of seeing a black cat, and I think it had something about turning around and walking backwards,
Oh, I
and
haven't heard
then,
that one.
well, I'm just raking my head for what it was, you know, but you know, if that is so unlucky for a black cat, would it also be unlucky for a black cat if it crossed the paths with another black cat? Or would that make it lucky?
You got a point there.
You know, and how many horses or dogs or other animals, you know, are freaking out because oops, there's a black cat, and yet we're the ones, silly humans, that are like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. I always like black cats. I don't find them unlucky either. I've had a couple. I suppose the unlucky part of it is that someone either stole them or they ran away and never come back. Something happened to them. That was the unlucky part. But the lucky part was I've had a few black cats. But I've known people that are afraid. They're totally afraid of black cats. I'll tell you another one. What happened to me when I got my recent motorbike, and my new helmet. I went over to visit a friend, and as I was leaving, I went to put my helmet on, and he goes, "Don't put your helmet on inside, it's bad luck." And I looked at him and went, "Oh." And what I didn't realise till the other day was he actually transferred that onto me, because I was waiting till I got outside. Um, as I opened the garage door, I'd put my helmet on before I even went into the garage. Another day I thought, well, don't stop being silly. Lena, I adopted that fear from him. So I stopped doing it, and I'm still alive.
Well, that's the other challenge when it comes to it, that somebody else will create the energy, and next thing you know, we're taking on the energy ourselves and dealing with it. So this is where the challenge can be when it comes to critical thinking. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about being cautious before you do something, but there's a point where you get overly cautious, and then you're going to find yourself in a pickle barrel,
Yeah, yeah.
which is another superstition because you don't ever want to find yourself in a pickle barrel.
I, I
Especially over a prolonged period of time with the lid on.
you'll
Right.
get pickled.
Right. It's bad enough when you take a long bath and get all pruny, but to be pickled also.
Pickled for the future.
Mm.
Uh,
So,
but
what are
what?
some other?
Yeah, I was just
What
going to
are
say
some of the
that.
other things that you're thinking of?
Well, I realised while we're talking that um, you can end up getting, how can I put it, too many um, fears. Like if you add all them on, say there's another one. I'll tell you a couple that I know in my life. One's you don't put new shoes on the table. If you put new shoes on the table, that's bad. Like that's what I was brought up with that one. Um, you don't do your washing on the first day of the year. Um, we got these stacked rock things, and when they fall over, that's supposed to mean an earthquake. You got to watch out. Um, and the old one, don't put the umbrella up on inside the house. And you know what I used to think? They say, well, how come we got little umbrellas in them drinks that they give you, and that's inside?
Well, I mean, just the unluckiness of putting alcohol into your body and what it causes within that poison reaction, and you think you're getting loopy or friendly or happy, but you're just poisoning yourself. So I could see the bad luck in that. But but if we try to break it down and we think about the last one you said about opening up an umbrella inside the house. Well, if you look at the earliest umbrellas, they were made out of steel, and steel is conductive with electricity. So if you're going to be opening up an umbrella more times than not, I'm going to make the assumption you're about to go out in the rain. And so you wouldn't want to open up the umbrella before you stepped out into the rain for the possible lightning strike of your umbrella. And that's my assumption of
Yeah.
why they would claim it was unlucky. Plus, depending on the size of the umbrella, when you open it up, it makes up a huge area where you can knock something over. So again, don't open an umbrella inside the house
Yeah.
unless you're the penguin from Batman.
The penguin. Yeah, there are some instances you can get away with.
And then what was the other one? Putting shoes on the table, right?
Putting shoes on the table, especially new shoes. There's some shoes that haven't been worn yet, and if you put them on the table, any
Oh,
table, yeah. I don't know where that come from. I just remember my mum going, "Don't do that," and I don't know. I should have asked her why not. But getting instilled. See, we instill our children, with these things, fears. They're little fears. Yeah, don't put the shoes on the table, and don't do any washing on the first day of the year. So
well, back to the shoes thing. I can't really understand new shoes, but old shoes I can understand that because and this is that whole thing about like going into somebody's household and not taking off your shoes. Because if you think about it, your shoes, the bottom of your shoes are the grossest thing that you can imagine. And when
yeah,
you're out and about in the world, you're walking on the ground, no idea what you're stepping on, you're on the sidewalk, you go into businesses, you go into restrooms and you walk around in restrooms.
yeah,
So to put shoes on the counter or on the table would be like to me kind of like a self-aware that germs are what they are, especially, if you're inside public bathrooms. You know, I yeah, I have a challenge with my wheelchair where sometimes if I think I've been in some area that's so gross that I'll want my wheelchair wheels to be wiped off before going into the house.
Yeah, I can understand that. There's something that us normal people wouldn't think about. You'd have mud, leaves, and God knows what chewing gum. um, now that
What
could
was
be
the other
unlucky.
ABC gum already been chewed?
uh, there's other things. Well,
What was that other one though you were talking about? The laundry?
oh, don't do any washing on the first day of the year. Apparently, you wash someone out of the family.
Yeah, that one I can't come up with a possibility of why. Don't do washing on the first day of the year?
Yeah, weird,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know. I'm just thinking maybe because you're so hungover from New Year's Eve party that you forget to check your pockets and you ruin your wallet or
Or you'll put the wrong colour clothes in because shit is still out of it.
right.
And your white things come out pink.
Yeah, you just don't care about separating colors
Yeah.
because you're so hungover you want to get it over and done with.
And you don't take the tissues out and they get all that white fluff everywhere.
Right.
Now that could be unlucky. Yeah, I can see that. You put the
Well,
cat in there
especially
by accident.
right? If you had such a party and stuff that you possibly threw up on yourself. And
Oh, that's good. Now, yeah, now you're talking about that. Yeah, yeah. A lot of things can go wrong. I can actually understand that now. Where it come from, I don't know, but a lot of things can go wrong in that area.
or what about throwing salt when you spill salt?
And you got to throw it over your left shoulder.
Right.
Well, see, because salt's used for other things, spiritual things, you make a circle and you can cut off doorways and stuff like that with a line of salt. I can understand why you'd have to respect salt, and if you wasted it for no reason, you'd have to do something for it. That's my figuring anyway.
Well, I had a friend of mine that was raised in Lebanon, Beirut, on the suburbs of Beirut. And he used to say um, I used to joke to him about the apocalypse or the proverbial fan getting hit by the excrement. And he would joke about bring it on. He's like, he's ready for it. He said, just give me a large knife and some salt. And I'm like, why would you want salt? And he said, because if you're going to sleep outside, if you make a ring of salt around where you're sleeping, the insects won't bother you because the insects won't cross over the salt. So he elaborated, being in the desert, if you're sleeping outside in the desert and you make a ring of salt around you, then the crawling critters on the ground won't cross the salt and you won't get bit up.
We have that here, but it's baby powder for the ants. So I don't know where baby powder comes into a lucky ring.
Is that made out of real babies?
Yeah, I think that's the whole point, because it was made out of real babies. Imagine the power in that. Yeah.
No, we won't talk about it. That's probably an algorithm strike.
I'm thinking, probably someone's thought about that somewhere, not that I recommend it to anyone, because
it makes me think of that movie
baby
Beetlejuice.
powder user, you can get away from me.
It makes me think of that movie Beetlejuice when the Girl Scout, or no, was that Beetlejuice or was that the Addams Family? But when the Girl Scout comes over and she's selling Girl Scout cookies, and the daughter says, "Are they made with real Girl Scouts?"
Oh yeah, I watched that the other night. Actually, I love that. That was a perfect comeback. Actually, in the chat room, Brenda Mitchell, thank you for your knowledge. She said, when you throw the salt over the left shoulder, it's throwing it into the devil's eye. That's if the devil stands behind you. Thank you for that, Brenda. And while we're talking about chat room, we'll just say thank you for everyone for showing up. When we got in the chat room, we got Jules and Jocelyn, and we have Brenda Mitchell, obviously, and we got Connie and Leslie, Dickie, and who else did I see up here? Donnie was around earlier. Buzzachino, how you going, Buzz? Buzz is always a buzz. And I think I covered everyone. If I haven't, I'll get to you later.
Nice. Thank you for joining us and
Yeah,
sharing your precious
yeah,
moments.
thank you for that knowledge there. Yeah, so there's other things like stepping on the cracks. You wouldn't have to worry about that. How does that go for someone in a wheelchair? Rolling on the cracks. Would that be bad like me?
Right. My poor mother.
That's funny. Yeah, but stepping on the cracks. I remember when I was little, someone told me that one, and we were walking up the pathway, and it was another little girl, and she said to me, "Don't step on the cracks, you'll break your mother's back." And I remember stopping dead still, looking at the pathway and going, "Oh." So I started not to step on the cracks, right? And like about 10 minutes later, it was getting really tiresome and a bit awkward. And then I stood there and went, "Hang on a minute, this isn't true. That's not going to happen to my mother," because I'm thinking I can't walk around like this for the rest of my life.
Well, just imagine, like, when your mother chastises you or you get in trouble from your mother and you go outside and you're like, I'll teach you.
And jump away.
Yeah, just finding every crack and you're stomping on it.
Yeah. So we'll cast that one out. I feel like writing a list, nese. Let's keep some and get rid of some, eh?
Well, to try to think of the don't step on a crack, I would say, maybe originally it was like don't step on a crack or you'll break your back. Because if the cement or if the ground is cracked, there's the possibility that it could fall out underneath the crack and you could trip and hurt yourself. So
Yes,
that
true.
would be my guess on it.
Yeah,
Have you
okay.
have you heard the one about don't walk under a ladder?
Yeah, well, I can see the sense in that because you might get a bucket of
Well,
paint.
especially if somebody's up on the ladder.
Yeah, and that too. But when there's no one there, I actually had that one day. I was walking up the street and there was a ladder, and I'm thinking, do I go under it or do I walk around it? I walked around it, obviously, safety reasons. But yeah, that would have come from just practical common sense. Hey.
Yeah, it's crazy how silly we can be when we create our own reality based on fear and superstition. But then, as a Anishinaabe or a practicing Anishinaabe, it's interesting to hear the perspective of some of the atheists, where they would say basically all early religions and spiritual practices are based on superstition. And I can appreciate that opinion, but in my experience, I have witnessed things in rituals and ceremonies that I cannot explain. So if being Anishinaabe is superstitious, then call me superstitious, because I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And then it goes back to being cautious.
Yeah, because even in my culture, there's things like at night you don't go near certain trees because there could be a bad spirit in them. And if you need to go Gillawat to the toilet and you're camping and you're a woman, you've got to go and you're in a certain area, you have to grab a stick and one woman takes one end of the stick and the other, and you go in that way. I don't question them kinds of things when they come from my own culture, nese, because I know there's really solid reasons for them. isn't that funny? Look, here I am saying that, but when we were talking about universal stuff like don't step on the cracks, we're going, nah, bullshit. why why would that be, you reckon? Because culturally it's been based on
Well,
safety.
well, they talk about like leeching back in the days. How like when people were sick and they would apply leeches. And some people would now claim, oh, that's superstition. But then when you look back on it, that they used to put leeches around wounds so it would suck out the poison or the infection. And so it kind of, so do all of these superstitions, do they come from a solid base of, common sense?
Well, that's what I thought. There's got to be safety parameters around it, how they were born. And I think some of them, maybe something's happened to somebody over and over, and they've come up with a superstition out of it because in their life it's been bad luck. But some of them, yeah, they're based on safety, and some of them are that old. I'd say the things that you're being safe from may not any longer exist.
There was another one that I just lost it. I was caught up in what you were saying on that one.
Station, because we got no conductor. Yeah, so because back in the old days, especially in our culture, we would have had strange creatures. Different areas would have had different things in them, and they would have said stuff for us not to go there or do things there. And I presume in the rest of the world that would have happened, but being more their culture being more known, it's more prevalent in everyone else's culture from assimilation.
Well, just basically like don't go out in the woods because all the critters think you taste good. So back to the common sense. Oh, that was it. Touch wood.
Oh yeah, that's a real common one, eh? I do that too. I still
A
do
little
that.
shout out to the captain there. But yeah, that was one of his expressions. Touch wood. What's your thoughts on where that one
Touch
evolved
wood.
from?
Well, wood comes from trees, and wood comes from trees. So I know that some woods have certain properties, or special properties. So somehow, yeah, touching the wood would impart the wood's energy of the tree or whatever it come from onto you, and you carry it. So yeah, it would be lucky. But I still say that exact same thing today. And I make sure when I tap that I tap on real wood and not that pretend stuff.
Particle board.
Yeah, particle board, because it's not like real wood. It wouldn't carry that energy anymore, I doubt. It'd be a half glue. Yeah, so I tap on it. And here, this is a funny thing. You're going to laugh, nese. If I haven't got a piece of wood around me, I'll tap on my head, like my head's made of wood.
I'm gonna be a real boy. Shout out to Pinocchio.
Yeah, I don't know why. And I don't even remember. I don't think I was actually told it. I think I observed it from other people because they'd go tap on wood, knock on wood. They'd be talking to me. As a child, I think I remember adults going knock on wood.
Right. Well, what I came across in that knock on wood is because when you're out in the woods and you start knocking on trees, if you can come across a hollow tree, then you have the potential of finding goodies, either like eggs from a bird's nest, or you could find a beehive and find honey. And honey was a huge, fortunate thing to occur.
Delicacy, yeah. Yep. Because when we got honey, only the elders and the children get it, and if you were important person in the mob, you'd get your honey too.
Especially
And
that royal jelly.
you can always tell who had the most honey. They were a bit fatter than everyone else.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I never
Processed
thought
sugar is
about that.
overrated.
You're right there about knock on wood. You'd also knock on, now come to think about it, no, see, now you speed my mind. You knock on the wood to see what kind of wood it was inside. If they, well, here we've got white ants. There's tons of them, and they eat the wood like they're honey.
Oh, that
Lollies.
would be more on the negative side.
Yeah, so you'd knock on it to see if it was hollow, and the ants had got it, or you'd knock on it because some of them have got water in them. You'd knock on it to hear the water. You know what I mean? So the knock on wood is very practical in that sense.
Yeah, like termites.
Yeah, yeah, termites. That's how the fellas make their didgeridoos. That's one way. They let the termites eat the middle of the um, branch out, or they look specifically for that, a branch that's been eaten out. So they'd be tapping to hear the hollowness. If it sounds really good and hollow, they'll chop it off and have a look and then clean it out and make a didge out of it.
It,
Um,
it it would assumingly be a lot easier too if the branch is already partially hollowed out from the termites.
that's what
So
I'm
it
saying.
wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. That's what they do. They look for the one that's been eaten out. Um,
Because I can imagine how long it takes to go through and clean it out for a didgeridoo.
yeah, yeah. Well, it depends. There's a few different techniques, and I can't talk much about it because Donnie should be on here saying that it's men's business because didgers aren't our instrument.
Well,
Um,
it's funny that you just said that because I've explained to you sometimes how I get these little movies that go off in my head. So right away when we were talking about it, in my head, I saw some uh, uh, um, paleo Australians picking up that wood, and then they would take the wood and go to ant hill, and they would lay the wood down in the ant hill because the ants would like the inside of the wood because they think it tastes good, and then they would just clear it out for them.
yeah,
So I'm going to have to talk to brother Donnie
yeah. You're going to have to talk to some of the brothers for that
and see if I
and
got that vision right.
discuss that with them. Yeah. Oh, all right. So we'll end that little part of the conversation, but I can move to the woman part, which is, and silly me, this is how normal things can be for somebody, and you don't notice. As you know, Nese, and people that are listening and watching, our for the women, our traditional instrument, our clapsticks, and here they are. Here I've got them here in front, and they're just two bits of wood, and we're clapping together. We're knocking on wood, and we use them all the time, daily in our lives, mostly. Um, so yeah, they're knocking on wood because the sound of them depends on the wood that you use. So you'd be knocking and tapping to find the right sound to make the clapsticks, the right sounding wood, so you can make a pair of clapsticks for
Well,
a
and then I
man.
would also assume that different woods would make different sounds, so then
They
it would
do,
even add to the whole music of it with different sounds of wood.
yep. I come across a pair. The wood that it was made of, it actually sounded like stone. Oh, it was amazing. They were only small and very delicate, but when you hit them together, it sounded like you were clapping two stones together. But they were actually wood, they say.
Yeah,
So I don't,
we have a nice wood here called ironwood that is incredibly strong, and we use a lot of times we'll use saplings of ironwood to make our lodges, especially like the sweat lodge.
yeah. So what else is like a? I know one, rabbit foot. You
Except for the
know.
rabbit.
Oh yeah, I know. Why a rabbit's feet?
Well, I think it would have to do something with the fertility ideology of it. That at some point that women would do carry the rabbit's foot, or maybe the man too, if they're trying to produce offspring. And so the effigy of the rabbit goes with being fruitful, and so Of course, here, I proclaim many times that I'm the stupidest man I know. And so we're just hypothesizing because what do I know? You know,
Yeah.
maybe the rabbit foot cut his own foot off and said, "Here, you need my luck,"
I
because
think it's got
that's
something
an
to do.
OG rabbit.
I think it might have something to do with the fact when a rabbit dies, like the back feet or the feet are the last to decay, but still not lucky for the rabbit, is it? Um, but I had a rabbit's foot when I was a kid. I don't even know where it come from. They say it was a white one, and I realised last night when I was going through all this that I lost that white rabbit foot, and my life turned to shit when it happened. I was wondering if that had anything to do with it. No, it was just a coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. No, I did. I had a white rabbit's foot, and I never knew that it was a lucky symbol. I just liked it because it was soft, and I was a kid, I had a
I
rabbit
like
foot.
the idea of rabbits hopping around with a human's foot on a chain around their neck.
Is it lucky or unlucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you got a point there.
Or another rabbit
Another
has a
rabbit.
necklace with a rabbit's foot on it.
That's funny. Yeah, I like to do that because I always say to people, whatever you do to the animals, an alien's going to come down and do it to you.
Maybe that's why the tortoise won the race because somebody took the rabbit's foot and he became unlucky.
Yeah, I like that one.
Maybe it was the tortoise.
He's got a rabbit's foot hanging around his
Yeah.
neck.
Oh well, that's where it came from. The tortoise, he cut off the rabbit's foot in the race, and so he won the race because he was lucky for cutting off the rabbit's foot.
Oh, poor rabbit. Why isn't a
Tricks are
rabbit's
for
tail?
kids.
Do you think a rabbit's tail would be more lucky though? I mean, it's cuter, but yeah, it's the foot. So there's that about the foot. I'll probably need to learn more about it before I comment on it too much. But in
I
the
wonder if
old
anybody in the chat threw out any other of the. We could try to break down all these unlucky things.
no.
Allegedly, Friday the 13th unlucky thing.
Yeah, if there's anyone in the chat that would like to join us in a little while and talk about their lucky, unlucky Friday the 13th or rabbit's feet, just let me know and I'll chuck it in there because it'd be interesting since I don't know a lot about it. I actually didn't really think about it, Maisie. You said Friday the 13th. I'm like, oh, yeah, because I always see it as a lucky day. And it kind of goes and comes without me knowing too much about it until you brought it up, and then I had to think about it, and it's like, you know what? There's so much more than meets the eye there. Because in let's have a look.
Well, another reason why we discussed about doing a show on Friday the 13th was a little bit of an homage to Freaky Friday
It
with the
was.
Woo crew. Kev Baker, Scotty Lopez, myself, and the Paranormal Portal. Because on Friday the 13th, we would have a 5-hour show with Brent Thomas and the Paranormal Portal and Donnie and Kevin and Scotty and myself. And it was
Yeah.
always enjoyable. And we just kind of go over the entirety of the Woo on Freaky Friday the 13th. And speaking of that, I'm going to shamelessly plug myself. Tonight I'm going to be on Brent Thomas's Paranormal Portal for another Friday the 13th show.
Oh, good on you, Nese. That'll be interesting. I'll make sure I tune in for that.
Unfortunately, I'm hoping I'm not going to be unlucky and lose my voice by then.
Well, I won't keep you too long.
No, at least If I don't put my voice where I put my sight, it'll be okay, and I won't lose it.
True, you'll find it. And I was talking earlier about different countries having different views on Friday the 13th. And while I was looking around at what I had there, guess what I found? Poland. No, what is it? Where is it? Bolivia. Remember how I said I don't know where putting the shoes on the table come from? And don't ask me how in Australia we got something from Bolivia. But it says here that Bolivians never put their shoes on the table. It's an unlucky gesture that will lead to poverty. It's also a good practice in hygiene. So there you go.
Oh, that reminds me. You don't put a hat on a bed.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I do it all the time, so obviously I didn't know that.
Well, and to me, it makes sense because if you put a hat on a bed, you could potentially sit down on the bed or flop down on the bed and crush the hat, especially if you
Yeah,
got a prize 10-gallon cowboy hat.
maybe
Because
I
I'm
should
a
start.
cowboy, baby.
I'm going to start a thing. Don't put your glasses on a seat. It's unlucky. Do you know why, nese? Because you know how many
No.
times I've had glasses on a seat and I've sat on them and broken them?
Hey, Luna, I apologize. I'm going to have you go to an article real quick. Somebody just popped in and I got 2 minutes to talk to them.
Yes, I can do that. I'm going to go to an article right now and I'll do that. Hey, hi. All right, so we're going to an article, and this article is a little bit of history. All right, so I'm going to read it out, and you can look at me, or you can, if that's all right with you. All
I'm
right,
back.
let's go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're right, no. So you do what you got to do, and I'll talk to you back when you get back.
Oh no, I'm back.
You're back already?
Yeah, it was who I thought it was. My daughter invited somebody over.
That was a false alarm. I was just
Right.
about to start reading. Well, I'm going to read a little bit anyway, because this one says, fear of the number 13 is the most prevalent superstition in the Western world. We even have a name for it. Now, this name is like that long. I'm going to try and say it, and I'll probably laugh. It's called triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia, something like that. It is quite common for even the most ordinary, rational, and otherwise exemplary person. Winston Churchill, for example, to refuse to sit in row 13 in the theatre or in an aeroplane. Ooh, there you go. There's an actual name for it, Nase. That's what I was saying before. When you have too many fears, it's not good for you. And obviously, they've named what I was describing. We got
Well,
one
that
more.
just made me think of some other things too, of like how some buildings won't have a 13th floor.
Oh yeah, I've read something about that too. And
Which is really funny because it's the 13th floor. Just because you take the number off the
yeah,
floor doesn't mean it's no longer
you know,
13.
I've got to tell people how surprising intuition is, because right in front of me, I've got two articles up, and one of them says Japan, and you can't see this, right? No one can.
Literally, I can't.
Yeah, literally you can't, but your timing is explicit, your intuition. So it says Japan. Many buildings in Japan do not have a fourth floor. This is because 4 is an extremely unlucky number in Japan, as well as in China and Korea. That's because the word for 4 is so similar to the word for death. So there's another version of the floor not having how many floors that you have. There was a movie made about that, the 13th floor. It didn't really exist.
Oh, I think I did see that one. Not 100% sure. No. But I think, I do think a lot of it originated there with the Knights Templar and Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, the movie franchise didn't help it much.
No.
Put a little extra fear,
And them Templars get around, don't they?
especially Jason, that Templar.
um, Gee, you know how many people have actually got that triskaidekaphobia? I'll learn to say it properly one day. J. Paul Getty and Franklin Roosevelt, they're one American people, yeah? They had
Yep.
it. Winston Churchill had it. Napoleon, he had it. Christopher Columbus. Wow, all the famous people had this phobia. Wow, what does that say, Namesay? These people had this whole big, massive superstitions.
I would
But,
dare to say that each
wow.
one of them are Masonic members.
Oh, so they must know more about this than we do.
Yep. Yeah, I would definitely believe that they are part of a Masonic lodge, and within the Masonic lodge, the number 13 is prevalent.
Wow.
My assumption, of course.
Just waving to everyone. Wow. There you go. Yeah, I'll just read this little bit for you too. That's really interesting. I'm going to look more into this. That's what I said. You open up a can of worms, no say.
Well, let's go fishing.
So it says J. Paul Getty and Franklin Delano Roosevelt suffered from that thing, phobia. Napoleon was also plagued by a dread of 13. Christopher Columbus, too, seems to have been afflicted. In the 1950s, the Columbiana something, a group of Italian Columbus experts concluded upon careful study of his ship's logs and notes that Columbus actually landed on the Western Hemisphere on October the 13th, 1492. The date apparently was deliberately changed to October the 12th to avoid the imprint of such an evil omen. Gee, went to the point. Well, like you said, they were Masons, but isn't that one of their numbers?
Right. So there must be some esoteric
Maybe,
iconography within it.
maybe the planets weren't lined up at the right time. Maybe the wind was blowing wrong. Who knows? But yeah, that'll take some studying, to figure that out, why they did that and what it means to them, because they like that number, because they've turned everything good upside down. So, interesting. So we'll come away with more questions than we have answers to.
And it's the 7th digit of the Fibonacci sequence. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Probably. Where's me Twilight Zone music? Wow.
Because the Fibonacci sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13.
Okay. You got me lost in the middle. Numbers just
Oh,
swirl.
sorry. I threw
No,
numbers
you're
at
right.
you.
I'll tell you what,
It's your
numbers in my
morning and I'm
head,
throwing numbers at you.
swish around in a circle and they go all wishy-washy and go like this, and I think, God, that's why I have trouble with numbers. I don't know why they do that in my head. Put words up in my head though, or in letters, and they'll move around and they'll actually form things, but the numbers don't. They just keep moving around. It makes me dizzy. Is that a phobia? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to count on numbers.
Oh, you do in your situation. Yeah, your world's full.
No, it's just that you can't count unless you use
Oh, count on
numbers.
numbers. Oh, you had me there. Look, count on numbers. Duh.
Basic.
It's morning here. I'm still not awake properly. Only half of me's working.
Well, this is where I joke with people about, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, because to me, 2 plus 2 equals nisui, or niswa, sorry. Basic, nish, nisui, niswa, nana, ningo, dwaswe, nishwaswe, nishwaswe, jangaswe, midana. That was counting to 10 in Anishinaabe.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I can't count to 10 in my people. I can count to 10 in Japanese because I did martial arts and that's what we had to learn. Ishni san shi go roko shishi hashi ku chu hai. But I don't know in my own language, isn't that sad?
That
But in
almost
my
sounds like a song.
it sounds like a song. Ishni san shi go roko shishi hashi ku chu. Yeah, I'm joking, man. Sorry if anyone's Japanese and got insulted there. I'm so sorry. I'm just having fun. But in my head, no, say 1 and 1 equals 3. So 2 and 2 can't equal 4 or 5. Do you want an explanation for that? Or is that okay? There's an explanation for that. I'll tell you on another show. We'll do a crazy show and I'll explain it. Okay. We got another little bit of thing here. What is it? When the 13th day of the month lands on a Friday, the culturally unfavourable attributes of each are multiplied by infinity. Friday is heavily charged with guilt and pain and death in the Judean-Christian tradition. It was on a Friday that Eve served forbidden fruit pie at her legendary garden soiree. Friday was the day that Adam was expelled from the paradise, and the day he repented, the day he died, the day he was cremated, and it was on a Friday, Good Friday, that Christ was killed on the cross. Okay, so it just took a big turn.
Which is really odd in itself because Friday is from Norse mythology, Frikaday.
Yeah, you're right there.
And
I
so,
found
how
that.
did Jesus die on a day that wasn't even a day when Jesus died?
I know. I found that a bit challenging, that little article there. And it felt negative.
And how can Friday the 13th be such an unlucky number? Because it's Friday, because everybody's working for the weekend.
And
That's the first
Friday,
day to party.
yeah, isn't that the day you get fish and chips and or a fried burger or something, you know? No, I'm joking. But I didn't know it was a Friday. I didn't know they had Friday back in Adam's day. Did they even have names of the week back in Adam's day? I thought the Greeks and that brought the names of the weekdays around. See how interwoven it is, nese? Like
Right.
really to get to the nitty gritty of something so simple like it's Friday the 13th, you're actually finding more questions and answers and realising there's more to it and where does it actually come from. We still haven't got to the bottom of it, you know?
Well, it's all speculation and assumptions because unfortunately, were any of us there in the creation of these things? And then when we look at it historically, is it his story or history?
Yeah. And what happened? Yeah, you got a point there. There's a
Because
little
some of
bit more.
those people manipulate what we're learning.
They do, and they do it on purpose. There was a bit more to that article about Friday. The day of original sin, the day Jesus died, the day of public hangings. Oh, in combination with 13. Oh, the number of steps on a gallows, the number of coils on a rope in a hangman's noose, the
Oh, I
number
forgot that.
yeah, the number of death card in the tarot deck. I didn't know that. I haven't got tarot. Is indubitably designated as a day of portent, portent and doom. Whoever
Is
wrote
it
this,
is
sorry.
it odd if you actually know how to make a hangman's noose?
Most people do these days, Nate. That's not odd at all.
Okay. But even as a young kid, I remember as a young kid reading a library book about hanging, when they did that public executions. And in the book, I don't know why, it had a diagram on how to make a hangman's noose. And I was like, sweet. And I would make hangman's noose. And long story, my dad would get upset about it.
And by when you practice hanging yourself.
Right.
What?
No, he always wondered what happened to all the dogs we had.
I remember
I'm
my brother
kidding.
practicing. Like my brother, from if you were a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, you would have tried to make a hangman's noose because you would have wanted to know how it was made, learning how to do knots. That's what I figured.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what little hooligans I was on the block that I grew up in North St. Paul. We had this one kid that was able to climb the light post, like a telephone pole with the light on it, and he would climb up there, and we would throw a rope over it, and then we would make a body. We would stuff clothes in the shape of a body and stuff, and then we were like, oh, let's make it look like someone hung themselves from the lamp post. And so here they were all like, how did you know how to make a hangman's noose? Because I made one for the dummy. And then what we would do is, as we saw a car coming up the hill, before they got like a quarter of a block away, we would drop the thing so it looks like it drops down and somebody just hung themselves right in front of the vehicle. Hooligans,
What I want to
shenanigans.
know is who was the effigy supposed to be? Who was? Did you put a little sign with a name on the stuffed effigy?
Yeah, it was our principal, Mr. Barassa.
Because he didn't teach you about Friday the 13th properly.
No,
uh,
he had an issue with me. I can't confirm or deny I was the class clown at a very young age.
uh, um, the class clown. Yeah, I remember our class clown. He was actually quite entertaining. I was the class. I don't know, what would you call me? I was the one that got everyone to go on strike accidentally. So, what would you call that? Um,
Instigator?
yeah, that's it. I was the instigator. I
I
didn't know
wonder
I
if
had
a
that power.
clown, I wonder if a clown, how the clown wears the oversized shoes?
Yeah.
I wonder if those are size 13.
Oh. Ooh. There's creepy stuff around clowns. I've never been a clown person.
Well, you know what they say about big feet?
What? No, what do they say, Nese? I haven't got
Must be
this.
a clown.
Oh, right. Oh, that's funny. I got another bit here. What is it? It says, pitiful suicide note of a window washer was found with a body in a gas-filled room at his home and quoted in 1960 issue of Yorkshire Post underscores its powerful popular reputation. It's just needed to rain today, Friday the 13th, for me to make up my mind. Oh, it was Friday the 13th and it rained, so he necked himself. Oh, so he took it bad. See, it has detrimental effects, no say. Friday the 13th, it isn't bad. I can say that because I'm on Friday the 14th, right? I'm safe.
Well, that's right. A lot of people might not understand that, but you're Saturday the 14th right now, and we're Friday the 13th, and we have still Central Standard Time. I think we still have about 5 more hours, 6 more
Something like
hours.
that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the cracked mirror, they say.
Ooh,
Says
yes,
that
definitely.
seven
Well,
means bad luck.
I can imagine the first thing is how expensive mirrors were back in the days,
Yeah, and they
and
was
to
all
break a
silver.
mirror
Yeah,
was definitely bad luck, especially if you did it and your parents found out.
yeah,
But if you look also in the esoteric of mirrors, and there's some references that mirrors can be used to make portals. So if you have a portal and some entity comes in your existence through that portal and the mirror cracks, bad luck.
Yeah. I
If
thought
the
that when I was young too. How fooled I was when I was young. I accidentally broke a mirror, and I remember standing in the hallway going, "What do I do with it? Mum's gonna get cranky."
well, it ironically at the exact same time that I broke a mirror, I lost my sight. So I don't know if I scared myself because I looked so horrific that it also shattered the glass. I got a face for radio.
But common sense would say if you break a mirror, you actually want to be careful because it's so easy to get cut, and the fine slivers that come off broken mirrors, yeah, they can be really bad. So there is common sense behind that. And if one of them slivers go in your body and you get poisoned for 7 years, maybe that's where it come from. But I
Well,
made a
especially
silver.
because a lot of silver, because if you weren't rich, you couldn't have a silverback mirror. You would have a polished lead mirror,
And you get sick. Yeah.
and too much lead, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I have a
Allegedly.
challenge with the whole lead paint,
I did you. I
but
did. Would you know that? Allegedly, yep. It would go in your body and you'd get lead poisoning and you'd drop dead. So that's why you got 7 years. Maybe you lived for 7 years before you died.
before the lead poisoning finally took you over.
Yeah. Maybe that's the secret behind it. But also they reckon because silver mirrors, see, the rich had silver, and we all know that silver is a natural antibiotic. Um, and they reckon, I don't know, oh, you wouldn't have seen them obviously, but there's old paintings and that they're holding these dome mirrors, and there's a rumor, allegedly, those dome mirrors were like a portal of communication, and they were made of
Yes.
silver. Yeah, they were
Yep.
made of silver, and they all have them, and they had them hanging on their walls, or they had them in their hands. I'll present a show one day with them pictures in it, and
Well, the other thing that was used is iconography, sigils, or metaphysical petroglyphs, I guess you could say. You know,
yeah,
where people would etch these on the mirror, not on the mirror, excuse me, but on the silver. You know, and then they would pour the glass on top of the silver, and then shape it around the mirror's frame of silver or whatever it's made of the mirror. The mirror is made up around its framework and stuff.
yeah,
So that even added to the portal power,
yeah, it would have the portal power.
paranormal portal power.
Yeah, paranormal. Yeah, keep an eye on that because I don't want you to be late. Hey, you'll shoot me. What are you doing over there? She made you late. I got another bit of an article here because we'll move into well, when I read it, it'll spark you off because there isn't two articles, but I chose the short ones for today. Lucky because you've got to be on paranormal portal. All right. Ironically, and in definite defiance of the laws of probability, the 13th day of the month is more likely to fall on a Friday than on any other day of the week. The precisely aligned pattern of our calendar days, weeks, and months repeats itself exactly every 400 years. In that 400-year period, there are 688 Friday the 13th. 2012 has 3 Friday the 13th. Just our luck, some might say. That was back then. And though they would mean, all right, so we'll stick with that. I did find one about the planets. It had something to do with the planets, maybe. I had another article. Hang on, I'll just find that.
Originally, there was 13 planets.
Yeah, because the You know how there's Aries, Libra, and all that. There's actually 13. Wasn't the eagle the 13th, or a dragon? I've heard
Oh,
people.
the zodiac.
Yeah, the zodiac. Yeah,
Yep.
because they're aligned with the planets, right? So, but they were originally 13, and they took one off and made 12. So I'm just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, supposedly there was Scorpio was the eagle, and then some claim that there was another one called the dragon or the reptilian. And my assumption, belief of where this came from is that, as I've shared before, well, not with your audience, but I've shared before that the uh, the Earth did not have a moon at one time. I believe at one time when the moon was allegedly considered the garden in its perfection, that it was a perfect 360-degree year and it had a perfect pattern around the sun. And when the planet that blew up, that was between Mars and Jupiter, and now creates the asteroid belt, that that planet had a satellite, which is now our moon, because 3.5 billion years ago, the moon smashed into the earth, causing the ring of fire in the Pacific, and then was captured by the electromagnetic attraction of the earth. And that's why the moon is perfectly between the sun and the earth in its magnet relevance.
Wow.
However, when that shift occurred, the indigenous people or the humans possibly of that time had 13 fully view of these different zodiac symbols. Now, let me clarify that with my second speculation of that is that as the solar system goes through its cycle, that at some particular moment that we will have more moons or less moons within the cycle of a year, and that's where the extra moon comes in. And I believe, according to my ancestors, we talk about the seventh fire prophecy, that when we have an extended moon in our year calendar, that is the postmark of, hey, pay attention to the heavens, because that extra light is not going to be a delight as it shines very bright and comes closer and closer to our planet. That's if we're on a planet and not
Yeah, I
in
was going to
a
say
computer simulation.
that. I was going to say that at the beginning. Depends on your.
I heard your teeth grinding.
That was my brain. Uh,
The views and opinion of both guest and the host do not clarify what is actually going on in the world. It's yours to decide. We're just speculating.
look, what have I got here? It says, up until the patriarchal revolution, both Fridays and 13s were held in the very highest esteem. Both the day and the number were associated with the great goddess, and therefore regarded as the sacred essence of luck and good fortune. Oh, well, that explains it, nese, why the bad stuff come in, because it was originally represented feminine good luck, and when the patriarchal stuff come in, they squashed us, right? So they had to squash everything and throw some bad luck in there.
Well, I mean, that's a sticky subject, and I'm afraid to go in there about my experience of bad luck with women.
Aha! Well, it says 13 is mostly essentially a female number, and it's got to do with moon cycles. Um, we won't go into that because that's women's business. That's probably why it was a woman's number in the first place.
Well, can I join you with women's business? Because I've been in touch with my feminine side many, many times. The first time I forgot to ask, so I kind of I me too'd myself. But
That's funny. Um,
what
I
about
was,
some good luck things?
well, that's what I was just looking at.
Because
Ways,
we gotta counterbalance this bad luck, this misfortune.
yeah,
What about some
ways
stuff
to
of fortune?
ways to improve your luck on Friday the 13th. All right, so the first one was knock on wood. What else we got here? Find a four-leaf clover. I was trying to do that yesterday on the because I went for this really big 1.5 hour walk, right? Because I had stuff to do, like I said earlier. And on the way back, there was patches of clove, and I'm thinking, oh wow, I'm just imagining if I found one today, I could tell you about it today, but I didn't find one. So
I'm looking over my dead dog Rover that I mowed over on the lawn. Oh, that's the wrong song.
yeah, yeah.
I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I overlooked before.
Hey, this is why I was thinking two things. One was imagine if we, in our world, it was four-leaf clovers, and to find a three-leaf clover would be lucky. That kind of makes some more sense, but it's not that way. And why are four-leaf clovers lucky? Well, I just got an answer. Ancient Druids believe shamrocks, that's clover, helped them to see evil spirits, providing the opportunity to avoid them. Ooh, how's that?
Well, it would also make me think of you know how Japan, they're talking about the superstition of the number four. My people find the number four very relevant, because that's when you look at a circle and you do the cross or the X on the circle, it divides it into four equal parts.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we got four in our culture too. Our music is done on a four basis. Oh, we lost nese. That's all right. I'll keep reading this, but I don't want to do it without him. Um, oh, he'll be back in a second. Don't worry. All right. So the number four, yeah, there was an article on number four in luckiness. I think no, I read it earlier about the number four. All right, so this is a weird one. It says wear your clothes inside out. Now I was always under the impression that if you put your clothes on and they're accidentally inside out, that was supposed to be bad luck. But it's the other way around. And this is what it says. No one seems to know how this superstition originated, but the belief that backwards or inside out clothes brings good luck continues to be widespread, from the children wearing their pajamas inside out in hopes of a snow day to baseball players and fans turning their caps inside out during important games and more. Well, I didn't know that because I always thought it was the opposite way around, but that's a positive thing. Oh, he's back. I'm going to have to repeat that now. You watch. Hey, Nacy.
hey, I'm having a little bit
Hey,
of deja vu.
yeah, this happened already. Wow. See, this is a weird day. I just read out, it says that wearing your clothes inside out is lucky. I always thought the opposite.
Crisscross, jump,
But
jump, jump around.
it,
That
it
was an
says
American band where they wore their clothes
inside
inside
out.
out and backwards.
Well, I'll just read this article again. Sorry, everyone. It's like a glitch in the system, eh? um, that's what's Friday the 13th about. No one seems to know how this superstition originated, but the belief that backward or inside out clothing brings good luck continues to be widespread. From children wearing their pajamas inside out in hopes of a snow day to baseball players and fans turning their caps inside out during important games. So I always thought it was unlucky. But here's a lucky one that you'll like. Look at the moon over your right shoulder. So you throw salt over your left shoulder and you've got to look at the moon over your right shoulder. Never heard this one. And if people start looking at me over their right shoulder, I'll know what's going on. So anyway, it says the moon is central to many long-held superstitions, and the new moon is seen as a ripe time for undertaking new enterprises. Whether those enterprises are successful or not depends on whether the new moon is first seen over the right shoulder, good, or the left bad, while we're having a full moon near the 13th, or having a full moon near the 13th month. Haven't we got a moon thing coming up, Nosy?
Yeah, we got full moon happening this weekend. And then on, I believe it's Wednesday, is it Tuesday into Wednesday or Wednesday into Thursday? We have an eclipse of the
There you
moon.
go. So everyone run out and look at the moon over your right shoulder and you'll have good luck. That's what it's saying. and fancy that for us to be doing this. And we found that out, and there's one happening this weekend. Wow, Maso, this is cool.
I would
This is a
also
weird one.
suggest for good luck,
Go.
go ahead.
No, because I'm just reading articles.
Well,
Tell me.
I was just going to say that if you have tools of divination, if you have rocks and spheres and such things that you find to be, for lack of a better term, sacred, because I believe everything that exists is sacred. But if you have things that you have a very high fondness to, I would suggest that you take the opportunity and put them outside and let them capture the energy directly of the full moon.
Ooh. You know, the moonlight is colder. Cold. Moonlight is cold. Did you know
Isn't
that,
it
Mason?
the moon's shadow is the, yeah, I thought it was the shadow created by the moon is cold.
No, the actual moonlight is cold. And if you stand in what would be the shade during the daytime, like under an eave or under an umbrella or under a cover, it's actually warmer than being in the light of the moon. By the light of the moon. Sorry. You make me see, you bring the craziness.
Well, the other thing, oh yeah, lunacy, the full moon. Maybe we are a little Luna.
So you got Friday the 13th, the moon, you got me and you hosting a show. Oh my goodness, what are we heading for?
Yeah, I'm a full-on moon sign too. Did you? I don't know if I've ever told you that, dear. That term of endearment. I'm sorry, I don't mean to genderize you or bring you down by using such a word. And
it's no worries, darling. No, it's all right. You can call me dear. Go a female deer. I love deers. I had a white deer appear from the bush, and that's really unusual for Australia, right? Because they're not our native animals. And this particular day, I was sent to do a spiritual thing in the community, undercover, obviously. No, they knew I was coming, but upstairs sent me, said, you've got to go on this day and do this stuff. And I'm like, rightio. So I got me women together to come with me to spread the beautiful spiritual energy that we were about to do. And as we arrived, they said, where do we want to put our stuff? Because it was a big paddock with bush around it. And I looked around and I had this urge to go over to this little patch. And the trees like made a little U, so it went in. So you had the paddock, and on the edge it just sort of went in like a dent. And as we walked up to that dent to put our stuff on the ground, a white deer just came out of nowhere, out of the bush, and just stood there and stared at me, and just was staring at me and wasn't afraid or nothing. And they say it brought a tear to my eye. I was so grateful. I dropped to the ground in gratitude. It was so beautiful.
And for the Americans, paddock means yard.
Oh, sorry. Paddock means field. It was a field, a grass field with bush all around it. How's that? Sorry, I forgot. I forgot about the translation. The translation.
Yeah, a lot of people in America, they understand that you and Australian don't speak proper English.
No, we speak Australian, sorry, not English. So, and there's no dictionary for it. And if there is, can you let me know? Because I want to give it to my friends. Okay. Here's a weird one, because Nase's, I think Buzz is going, he's going to bed, and here's one about going to bed. The belief that sleeping with your head facing south promotes good health and fortune persists to this day. Even among some doctors, the belief seems to be rooted in the Chinese art of feng shui, which attributes a causal connection between geographic placements and the movement of qi, or positive spiritual energy.
I used to want to have a round bed that rotated, so as the sun rose and set, my orientation would be my head with the sunrise and my feet to the sunset. And there was something about that that I felt was some kind of magic gaining thing.
Yeah, they reckon you're not supposed to sleep the same way all the time. You're supposed to turn your head and feet round according to the sunrise and sunset.
Well, if you think about it, the sun, in the sunshine, that is actually a bunch of radiation that's hitting you. And there's a full spectrum of radiation that we get from the sun. And some of that radiation will actually penetrate the entirety of the earth. So then when we go into the evening and we have a full moon, well, just like when you take a laser and you can reflect it off a mirror, the same goes with the moon, where you get that reflection or that electromagnetic wave that bounces off the moon and hits us also.
True.
And then if you think about that happening at the same time, where this radiation that is coming through the entirety of the earth hitting you from the ground, and then you have a different type of radiation hitting you from above, I would think that would cause some kind of electromagnetic. It's like I feel a disturbance in the force.
Force. Yeah, yeah. The force, may the force be with you.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
There's one about, you know how we're talking about broken mirrors, and you just brought it up again. There's one about uncoloured glass, and it says, while breaking a mirror is believed to usher in 7 years of bad luck, the breaking of clear glass has traditionally been seen as a sign that you've averted some grave misfortune. The glass purportedly takes on the ill fortune in your place. Wow, I've done that before, broke glass, like clear glass heaps.
Yeah, I think if you had like a nice hallway with a nice chunk of wood set up there and a bunch of old glasses, and you wanted to get rid of a bunch of frustration.
Actually, I've always thought that. Me and Carl had this idea. You get a factory unit place with a big yard, and you get all the old dinner plates and stuff, the dishes and all that, old glass ones, and you get people to come in and they can throw them at this point, and they can get their frustrations out and just break the plates and all that glass or whatever you've got there to break. They can throw it and break it. Sounds like fun.
Well, if at least releasing a little bit of frustration, a little bit of stress.
Exactly. And then I thought, for the real angry people, we can have old cars and we can give them a baseball bat and they can smash the car up, and they can spend a couple of hours doing that and walk out happy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all been at that point, one point in our life, where we felt like grabbing a baseball bat and smashing up a car. Yeah. There's one here about walking in the rain. That's good luck too. Anyone who has ever been caught without his or her umbrella, or without your wet weather gear on a motorbike. I wonder if that counts, nese. This is probably, it's a sign of good luck. This is probably because it is so important to the success of crops. Before modern irrigation methods were widespread, a rainy season meant the difference between lean years. There's more to it than that, though, because the rain has its own energy and it washes the energy clean on the plants, the land, ourselves.
And it would also depend on the chemtrail coverage of the day.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, see, you made me pop into reality there. I had to remember all those crappy things.
Just wind you back in. Well, one thing that I always find so interesting about the raindrop, the raindrop, if you look at the symbol, or if you look at the outline of a raindrop, the teardrop, that is one half of the infinity symbol. So you
Hey,
have that what is seen and that what is not seen being the whole dichotomy, and it makes the infinity symbol. To me, and that's why I love the rain. I love
yeah,
the
I
rain. I
love
love the teardrop, and I
yeah,
love infinity.
yeah, you would.
That's an
I
inside joke there.
know, yeah, it's a home joke. Yeah, the rain's really important. And have you noticed, like after a good thunderstorm, the electricity is like you're saying, it's all evened out. The air's clean. It gives off that good ozone stuff. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, I find my body holds like electricity, and after a good thunderstorm, I start getting like thunder in my body. You can hear all the cracks in your bones cracking out as the energy is escaping your body. That's what it sounds like.
It's funny that we talk about this because when I talk about infinity, her Anishinaabe name means the clear day after the storm,
Oh, see, wow,
which is really funny because my name has to do with the loudness of the thunder.
wow.
And so here, and
Definitely your
and
daughter.
well, yeah, that's kind of like a validation. Like, yep, no question there.
Yeah, no question there.
And ironically, two different two different elders named us.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
that's what they do, isn't it? They look at you and they see what you are and your energy and everything, and they name you appropriately.
well, it's kind of a whole ritual where you present somebody some kinnikinnick or some tobacco, a sema, and then if they accept it, then they do a protocol, and then they'll seek a vision or a dream,
Hmm.
and in the dream they'll get the name, and then they have the ceremony where you announce the name to the universe, to the world. Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty
Yeah. I,
honoring occurrence.
I often wonder how better the world would be if we had more ceremonial stuff like that. That was deeper and enriched. It'd be better. Well, here's a
Yeah,
weird
I
one.
don't. I myself, I well, I minimally tolerate, but new this new experience of the world, of the universe, where people are happy with their names and they want to change their names, and I get it. At one time, I used to want to change my name to Devin Black.
Devon Blake.
Yep, that was going to be my
That's different.
yep.
I
That was
suppose
my music voice or my music
when
name.
when I was a little girl, I even got my mum to buy me a necklace that said Cindy. I don't know why, but I wanted to
Mm.
be called Cindy. I still look back to then and go, why do I want to be called Cindy? I don't know why.
But one thing I'm going to add to that whole thing, a majority of us existing, we are named by our parents, and I like to believe, think, and hope that within that love of our parents' union and the creation of us coming into existence, that love, those parents came to an agreement within that love of let's call her, or let's call me Kevin Richard Shores. So I I've made the proclamation that I don't use that name very often, Kevin Richard Shores, because I don't feel I've honored my parents enough to have such a title. And if you look within the realms of the legal system, they write our names in capital letters. And we're taught in social networking that writing something in capital letters means you're screaming. So is it not interesting that the powers that should not be, they scream our
Yes.
names when it
Yep.
comes to legal documents?
Yep. That's bad luck, eh?
That's some Friday the 13th bad luck there. But what about a horseshoe? Do you guys have
Oh
horseshoes down in
yeah, actually,
Australia
yeah, I actually did
made
have
by
a horseshoe.
Nike?
I put it away because we cleaned up the house and I packed everything away to rearrange, and I haven't unpacked all the little things. And I have an actual horseshoe, and I was going to get it for the show to put it in the background here, but I didn't want to go through all that stuff to find it. But this
So
horseshoe used to
do
sit on
you?
top of my oven, they say, so I had good luck for my food.
I think I know a couple people that would be thankful that it's there. But
Yeah.
but do you do you subscribe to the horseshoe? And this goes out to the audience if they're listening. I'd like to know what they think. So is the horseshoe supposed to be nailed with the U facing up or down?
Up so the luck don't pour out.
That's what I heard also. But
Yep.
I got into a discussion with somebody where, their their argument was that it's supposed to be down so the luck pours on you when you go
Oh,
through
that's
the
a different
door.
one. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. No, I always thought you keep it up. It was up on my oven, and everyone likes my food. Well,
Well, I mean, just to be safe, it wouldn't be bad to get two horseshoes and have one up and one down.
yeah, just to make it more balanced. Yeah.
Or on one side of the door frame have it up and then on the other side have it down.
I wonder if horses have human shoes in their house.
Yeah, they're made by Nike.
Nike. That's funny.
Yeah. Horses used to really like Air Jordans, but after Jordan and his famous glue debauchery, then we won't get into it.
Uh,
Allegedly.
yeah.
Allegedly Michael Jordan had a glue debauchery.
All right. Hey, I've got a weird good luck one here, nese. Looking at good luck because we're still talking about good luck stuff. Um, sleep on unironed sheets. Well, I'm lucky because I've never ironed my sheets. Some people do, but I don't.
Sleeping on unironed sheets
Yeah, it says
is lucky.
yeah, it says this is another superstition with uncertain origins. Luckily, few people iron their sheets these days. Anyway, it doesn't tell you much about it. It must be an old, probably from poor people or something, because they couldn't. I don't know. Sleep on unironed sheets. It's supposed to be good luck. So when
I
you
would
iron your
think it would be unlucky because if the sheet is buckling up and you sleep on that buckle, you know how you wake up with sheet marks or buckled
yeah,
marks all over your body?
yeah, yeah, that's a weird one, eh? Yeah, that's right, Ken Rotman. Who irons sheets? That's what I want to figure. Actually, I know people, they iron everything. What was oh, I was talking about a friend that had a under the table business and he used to iron his money. That was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I wonder if it was good luck. Avoid cracks on the side work. We've talked about that one.
I had an under the table job for a while and it only lasted about 3 months because I just got disgusted scraping gum off of the tables.
The under the table job, yeah.
What about how about this one? Find a penny, pick it up
All day long, you'll have good
all
luck.
day long, you'll have good luck.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So does it matter if it's facing heads up or tails?
Well, that depends on how you feel, which one's good luck and bad luck to you, hey?
Right.
It goes deeper again, doesn't it?
That's actually in one of my songs when I was in a band called Alternative. We had a song called Mr. Mushroom Man, and one of the lyrics was "Find a penny, pick it up, to a friend, pass the luck."
Ah, it says here finding and claiming any of. Oh, where are we? Hang on. Oh,
I'm
pick up
in
a pen.
Minnesota. You're in
Oh, there's
Australia.
more than just a penny, but it says pick up a pencil, a pin, a penny, or a piece of coal.
All
Finding
P's. PPP.
a piece. Yeah, yeah, yeah. PPP, everybody. Good luck.
Or
Finding
pick
and
up a
claiming.
bud. Finding bud. That's good luck.
Oh, yeah, I've got a story about that, but I can't tell you that one.
Allegedly.
allegedly. Finding and claiming any of these items have long been believed to portend good fortune. Some modern versions specify that only a heads-up penny is good luck. There you go.
So if it's a pencil, a pin, a penny,
Or
how
a
about
piece of
a platypus?
a platypus. Well, you wouldn't want to do tails because they've got the spikes at the other end. One feeds me. But yeah, I didn't know about a pencil. When I had young kids, I was picking pencils up all the time. Pins. Yeah, when I sew, I pick up pins. So lucky. So
Oh, and can I do a little rant? I am
okay.
so disgusted with pencils nowadays
Why?
because my daughters they got pencils, for school, and I felt one of these pencils, and they literally feel half the size of the pencils we had when we were kids.
Really? You're getting
They,
stingy.
yeah, they're thinner. And it's like, what the heck? What's that? Give me something to grip. Give me something to hold on to.
Wow. I didn't
So
know
it's
that.
luckier to find an older pencil than a newer pencil.
Hey, if you crossed your fingers, fingers crossed.
Oh, yes.
Everybody uses it now. Here's the thing. Wait till you hear what it says. Everybody uses that. Making the sign of the Christian faith with your fingers is believed to prevent evil spirits from ruining your good fortune. Now, did everyone know that when you cross your fingers, that's what you're doing? And we don't associate it with that, do we? We cross our fingers just for pure luck,
Well, wasn't it you cross your fingers if you were fibbing?
Oh, I never fibbed, so I don't
Oh,
know. So
you've never fibbed?
I probably did when I was young, but I try not to. I try to be 100%
Okay.
totally honest. It pisses people off, but PPP, 100% totally honest.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Carl about that one. But
It pisses him off all the time because I'm 100% totally honest. uh, and this one's
ooh, what
animals.
about giving the evil eye?
Oh, the evil eye. We're talking about good luck things.
Oh, sorry. It made me think about that. Like,
And
have
the
you ever
evil
seen
eye,
that
yeah.
where somebody will like take their eye and they kind of pull it down a little bit and they stare at you?
Oh, is that the evil eye I've known is it's a hand gesture. There's a hand gesture that's called the evil eye.
Ah.
And if they do it to you, they put the evil eye on. I didn't know about the one pulling your eye down. The only time
Yeah,
I see
that's the
that
one I
is when
remember.
you're putting makeup on, you might want to pull your lash down a little bit, or watch put an eyeliner on or something. That's funny. The
Oh, what
evil eye.
about rubbing the Buddha's belly?
Oh yeah, that's for good luck, eh? The fat Buddha. Yeah,
Right?
because
And
everyone knows.
please, in today's world, please ask first before you rub any Buddha's belly.
Yeah, especially if they're living and not a statue.
Yeah. And the funny part is that, the little fat Buddha is not the actual Buddha. It is a Buddha, but not the Sri. Dang it, I can't remember his name now. The
Well, I'm going to boast on behalf of all women in the world that the first original Buddha was a female. Did you know
well, yeah. Don't go and pat up a fat woman's belly
that?
and make
They're
any
not all
comment
fat, no,
about
so
being
that's what
pregnant.
I say. Some of the skinny Buddhas they're skinny Buddhas as well. They had different
Yep.
lives.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is the original Buddha was extremely skinny.
Yeah, true. And large. And they were big too, they were giants. I love my giants. They were giants. Or very, very tall people. Hey, we got one here on animals. We already done the rabbit's foot, right? But it says animals have long since been harbingers of either good luck or bad luck. And here's a few. So seeing 3 sheep is supposed to be good luck, and they say, I never knew that. And for those people that understand this joke, you can go out onto the street And if you stand there long enough, you'll see 3 sheep walking up together.
I think that's like a Scotland thing.
Oh, it could be, yeah. Or yeah,
Yeah, they're like, oh, 3 sheep. I'm gonna have a
or a New
really good
Zealand
time
thing.
tonight.
If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's a New Zealand thing.
Yeah, it's like 3 sheeps. That means that's like meeting 3 different people in one night.
Yeah. The other one's cricket singing.
Oh yes, in Asia, the cricket is considered an extremely good luck token.
It is. There's even
Yeah,
little
they
pictures
actually
of them.
carry around live crickets.
Yeah, I was going to say there's pictures of them in a little cage thing, and they carry them around. Yeah, I remember. I know a funny story about a cricket. The crickets were singing. You know when you hone in on just one sound, you got all these sounds, and you hone in on just one. For some reason, his head was honing in on the cricket singing, and it was night time, and he couldn't sleep. And all night, all he kept doing was go, bloody crickets, bloody cricket. And I was in fits of laughter because they sing every night here, like where we were. They were singing every night. Why would he get upset with this particular night? They wanted him to shut up. The more he wanted him to shut up, the louder they got. I thought it was really funny. It was good luck on my behalf because I like them. Ladybugs is another one, they say. What is it? When you see ladybug, fly away home, your house is on fire and your children are gone. That's supposed to be lucky. Don't ask me why, because it's totally inverted. Like, it doesn't make no sense at all.
Well, are all ladybugs female?
No, are they? Don't you need daddy ladybugs?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's ladybugs and gentleman bugs.
Yes, man bugs.
I would say, yeah, I would say gentlemen
Gentlemen
because
bugs,
it's
yeah.
always ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Okay, another one, a robin flying into your home on you. Gee, that's rare. Flying into your home, I've seen that happen. I've even had birds flying places I've been. But landing on you, flying in and landing on you, that's supposed to be really good luck. I actually nearly had that happen to me when I went away once. But it wasn't a robin, it was this beautiful Aussie bird.
I heard some people talk about if a bird poops on you.
That's good luck too.
That's
That's good
considered
luck.
good luck.
That happened to me at school one day when I was young. I got a bit embarrassed, and Mum goes, "It's supposed to be good luck," and then I was like, "Yeah, cool."
Well, that's what that's what you say because once you get crapped on by a bird, how do you deflect that? Oh, it's good luck.
Yeah, it's your only salvation.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta bring my new suit.
Dolphin swimming near a ship. That's supposed to be good luck. Hey, there's some good lucks on the ocean, Mr. Navy man. Wasn't it supposed to be good luck? That's why they put the woman on the front of the ship. The effigy of the woman on front of the ship. That was supposed to be good luck, and it was bad luck for an actual woman to be on it. How's that for upside down?
Oh, that's another interesting one.
Yeah, can you confirm that? Because I'm not a water person. So yeah, dolphins on ship. A frog inside your home. Yeah, I've had that. Have you? Who's had a frog?
Well, I guess if it's Kermit.
Kermit the Frog. Oh yeah, on the TV. We can count that. Is that good luck?
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Rainbows have nothing to hide.
Oh, that's so sweet. Here's one for the dog lovers. A dog, especially a Dalmatian or a Greyhound, with a white spot on its head. Do you own one of them dogs? Anybody?
Roof, 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 roof. Roof, 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 roof.
A bee landing on your head or hand. So I imagine if it doesn't sting you, you're lucky, right?
Well, I know that if you get stung by a bee, that it will help your arthritis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've known some people that would purposely go and like every 3 months go and get stung by bees.
I recommend you do not do that at home. Do not go out in the garden and then get stung by a bee. You may be allergic to them, so do
Yes,
not do
make sure you know if you're allergic or not.
Yeah, it's just it's Friday the 13th, so anything can happen.
Yes,
All
anything
right.
can happen at any moment when things happen.
Birds calling from any direction but north. Tough luck if you don't know where you are, right?
Yeah, make sure you know where the sun rose or have your little handy dandy compass.
Yeah. Two blackbirds sitting together. Oh, blackbird sitting in the dead
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to
fly.
copyright flash.
Yeah, bang bang. A butterfly inside your house. Oh wow! I'll tell you a funny story about that. When I first moved in this house, it was brand new, and we were looking around. I went into the bathroom, and there was a cocoon stuck on the window in the bathroom. And I said to everyone, don't touch it, it's going to turn into a butterfly. And I didn't know when, and it was like 2 days later, and we only just moved in the house, so we weren't even unpacked or settled in or anything. Walked into the bathroom, and here's this butterfly fluttering around the window. So I opened the window and let it out, and I thought that is such a beautiful sign for a new house. So it was good luck. So that was nice, but I still don't know why I had all that bad luck. Was it the mirror I broke when I was a kid?
You should have shattered the window to let the butterfly out.
Oh, yeah, the clear glass. Yeah, you're right there. Duh. Sometimes you just don't think right. A cat sneezing is supposed to be good luck. There are all the cat lovers. If your cat sneezed on you, that's supposed to be good luck. But
I would find it better luck if it didn't sneeze on you.
or you'd be one thinking I had a cold.
Right.
This is a funny one. 2, 3, or 4 cows. Oh, crows. Sorry, not cows. Crows. I didn't read that right. A lone fox. That's supposed to be good luck. Here especially because they're not native to here, but we do have them. And when I first moved in here, we had a fox living next door. And a three-legged
We have foxes here.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I've patted them. They're so beautiful animals. You can have them as pets, but they dig holes in the lounge and stuff. A black goat, that's another one. A kingfisher, that's them big birds that dive underwater. I saw one of them too. We got them here. We haven't got black goats. I haven't seen one of them. A stork building a nest on your roof. Does that mean they're going to deliver a baby?
unless there's a human baby in the nest.
And just don't make baby powder out of them, right?
Right.
Okay. So they're supposed to be all the good luck things, nese.
Yeah, I think also, I don't know if it's true, but isn't it good luck if they pat you on the head 5 times, you'll cough up a gold piece?
I've never heard that. I thought
Well,
you were going to say
people
they
that are
spin you around.
vertically challenged like you.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. That was a short joke. That was a short joke, they say. So we're coming up upon the 2-hour mark, no say. Do you want to keep going and let someone in to have their say, or you just want to keep it the way we are?
Well, I could probably hang out for another half hour if you want to open it up and have somebody call in.
Okay, I can do that. And
if you want to drop the link.
Copy. Yeah, hang on. It requires me technical skills, and I have no good luck.
Yeah, I'd love to hear somebody else share what they do for good luck or what they do to
It'd be nice, hey? All right.
to negate bad luck.
So the fellas, I'm dropping it in the chat room there. So if you want to jump in and share something about Friday the 13th with me and Nase and everyone else, please do.
If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
Ha, true. And then what does that mean? What's the word for no luck? Luckless. Luckless?
Luckless.
Is there such a word as luckless?
Right. Well, you know, the interesting thing about the ride that we enjoy in our existence, you know, Bill Hicks said it best, you know, you got its up and downs and thrills and chills and lights, and sometimes you're scared and sometimes you're happy, but in the end it's only a ride. And that's kind of with that whole thing of good fortune, good luck, bad luck, and everything in between.
Yeah. Um, good luck, bad luck, never. Yeah, luckless. Oh, I've got to figure that one out. Luckless. Imagine being named Luckless. I'm multitasking here. Then. Okay. So for this year's Friday the 13th, so far everything's good on our end, nese, in the southern hemisphere. We're still here and the day continues. So I'm
Right?
hoping it's lucky for you in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, well, I take everything with a grain of salt and then I throw it over my left shoulder to make sure that the moon is on my right.
Ha ha, yeah, we can add that to our stuff. I do have other stuff here in articles, but there's some gibberish. And there's words that I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to make it. There's already one big word. It had 10, like 12 letters. It was ginormous. It
Well,
says
what
here,
about, you know, if you think about it, um, when it comes to good luck and bad luck, how much is it from another individual directing bad luck at you?
ooh,
You know, because we find ourselves in a situation where we have bad luck. You know, could it possibly be somebody cursing us?
possibly. I was thinking that, and that's why we have to have all these lucky charms and rabbit's foots and stuff to ward it all off. Wow.
Blue hearts, green clovers, yellow
Yeah,
moons.
yeah. And we got Jules in here. I'm going to let her in, and I want to hear what she got to say for her Friday the 13th. It's the 14th here, see? So 4 has to be lucky. Today's been okay. I'm not going to say any more because I ain't finished. But hey,
Yama
Jules,
Luna.
how you going? Yama. Today's been okay. I'm not going to say any more because I ain't finished. Yama, Jules, how you doing?
Yama Luna.
Yama. Yeah, turned off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I muted YouTube. I'm live right now.
Happy,
I'm not in chat right now, so it's all
happy
good.
Friday the 13th, Jules.
Friday the 13th. Gosh, you guys covered a lot of stuff earlier. You hit over the Knights Templar, which kind of led me thinking pirates and sailing and nautical stuff. Um, the earlier in chat, I threw up Port Royal. Port Royal was the actual pirate haven from the Templar pirates, and it was destroyed in the late. I want to say in the 1640s by an earthquake. Just
Wow.
gone. There's very few remnants remain of Port Royal. And then later on, you were talking about good things on ships. The Rowan branch. Pirates used to on the hull of their inside the hull of their ship. They used to have a branch from a rowan tree because it was supposed to protect them and bring them good luck at sea.
Knock on wood. There you go. And the energy of the tree, what we're talking about, Nate. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, nese, this is Jules. Jules, this is nese.
Hi, nese. It's nice to meet you.
Did you say that Jewels?
Jules of the flame.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
And Jules has got a black cat, a
Now it's
live black cat.
Oh
yeah.
no. Is it in
Happy
front of you?
Freaky Friday by Black Cat.
Oh, look, it looks like the one in the pictures.
Look at you. You're Friday night famous, Roxy. She's like, get me down.
Yeah, she'll get me away from me. So you're right, she's got her lucky cat.
Yeah, but people don't know that Jewel, she bleaches her cat's tail just so she doesn't have bad luck in the house.
So how's your
And on the contrary, I am in the camp that black cats are good luck.
Yeah,
I have heard black cats are good luck.
So do you ever have
Especially if they're good at catching mice.
Well, I mean, I'm indifferent to that. I mean, I don't eat the mice or consume them in any fashion, so I remain indifferent.
Have you ever had a rabbit?
Diana from V?
No, that was a guinea pig.
Oh, sorry. Wait, are we talking about the reboot or the original? No,
the original. Because they made at the end of the reboot, they made her out to be like one of the good guys, if you can believe that.
Did she
So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think other things that are good luck.
Oh, I forgot one. You know your Lucky Charm bracelet. You know, we had Lucky Charm bracelets.
Charm bracelets, yes.
Yeah, that's supposed to be
coins. Like angel coins and stuff like that.
Oh, I need to go. Jillawa, can you tell us about your angel coin story? That's your lucky angel coin.
Well, my lucky angel coin now resides with, I don't know. It was just one of those things that was meant to happen in that moment when it happened. So, yeah, I'll tell you about it. Hopefully Roxy will like settle down so I can give you guys my undivided attention. But yeah, it started out as a normal like day. I was transitioning. I was actually in the process of transitioning employment, and there was one day I was closing, and I looked in the tip jar, and it was just full. So apparently somebody had cleaned their car. They brought all the loose change in and threw it in the tip jar. So, and since I was going to be the one counting down the register and doing the deposit and everything, I was making things easier for myself. So I was converting all those coins into dollars before I even did my final counts for the night. Then I got to the bottom of the tip jar, and there was an angel coin. It's a two-sided coin that has an angel, different images of an angel on either side. A lot of I did a little. I didn't go into deep detail on it, but in China, gold coins are symbolic of good luck, good fortune. And I suppose that could kind of be similar with the lore of pirates and seafarers and privateers. I mean, the gold, they were attracted to the gold because of its wealth, but also because I'm derailing myself. Because it was considered good luck. It was good luck if you found a chest full of jewels and coins and emeralds and stuff. I mean, because it was good luck in the sense that you're basically set up for the rest of your days. But anyhow, getting back to this angel coin. So I didn't think much about it. I put it in my pocket. And as soon as I put it in my pocket, I always have this feeling that the angel coin wasn't meant for me to keep. So at this time, I had a prospect of two different employers, and both of them were requiring drug testing. So within a course of 3 days, I tested for both companies. And when I went to work, I had the coin in my pocket. When I went to my drug appointments, I had the coin in my pocket. And it was that Friday I had my last drug screening, and I had it scheduled at like one of our local walk-in health clinics. But you could go online, book an appointment, and you could schedule for make an appointment for your urinalysis. So I was sitting there, and I walked in the place, and I had the coin in my pocket. Checked in with the receptionist. She's got all my information. And then I put my wallet back in my pocket, and I noticed the coin's still there. So I go back out to the lobby, and I sit and I wait to be called. So I go in, do my thing, and I sit down to wait for the results. And I notice that, wait a minute, I just sat down. I don't feel the coin, it's gone. So somehow or another in that lobby, I lost that coin. And I actually had planned in my mind who I was going to give it to, because this person was needing, they were in a bad situation. They needed to move closer to their university, and they needed a better job than what they had, and they were moving in with roommates, and it was just a lot of stuff that person really needed to happen in a short amount of time. So, and I was totally going to give that coin to this person. Well, I walked in the Starbucks that Friday when I knew that I could pick between the two. So I walked in the door, and the first words I heard were, "Start spreading the news." So, and then I worked through that weekend. I made my decision up, and I ended up working for Walgreens for a month, where I thought that I was going to do something different. It was an apprenticeship in the pharmacy as a pharmacy technician, and I could work that, get my certification, and I could move on, and I would be lined up for the position that I really wanted to do if I was going to make a career of the rest of my life. So I did that for about a month. I mean, I got horrifically sick, and ultimately I ended up leaving. And that morning, I was sitting there on the couch, getting ready to go to work, doing my usual cup of coffee in my solitaire, easing into the day. I was sitting there thinking, I don't want to go to work. And when you really get that, I don't want to go to work, and it's a dread kind of vibe, it's time to move on. So just coincidentally, I'm picking up my phone and my bag to leave for the day, and this message comes in. So the opportunity with the other employer still existed. So, and then Monday I thought about leaving. Wednesday I had something lined up. Friday I was done. And I was fortunate in the sense that I didn't go either any stretch of time without a job. But what that angel coin taught me is there is good and bad. There's duality. There's two sides to a coin, just like there's two sides to a story. And it's the one that I picked was the wrong decision. But I was given the opportunity to experience the other side of the coin. And I feel like where I should be. I knew I was in the right place when I walked out one afternoon, and there's no grass in the back there. So when I stand there, there's nothing but shamrocks and clovers.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And then I walked out one day, and not only was it a ladybug, I had never seen a swarm of ladybugs.
Wow.
So, and I'll walk out when it was high winter this past winter during the holidays. The sun set so early. I would look up and know that that's a planet, but it's like, wow, that's like an Aquarius, which is my sign. So it's just all these little synchronicities that are positive. And I kind of, and this is going into a question that you asked earlier, because I kind of feel that 13 as a number is a number. I think it's the intent that you put on it with your mind of what makes it a bad experience or a good experience. It's like my Friday the 13th today, it was a normal day. Nothing to write home about, nothing went bad. There were moments where it's like everybody was grumpy and frustrated, but and then we all came to an understanding that I'm doing my best, you're doing your best, and everything just worked out. And then and then I came home and unwound and brewed some coffee and had a little PPP, and here I am. And
Cool.
this
Thanks
is
for coming.
this was a nice surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Thanks for coming in. You know that story when you dropped the coin? It was like it had to ground out. The energy had to ground to come into reality. That's what I saw.
Yep. So I'm sitting here trying to think of other things that are good luck. I mean, a black cat is a sign of good luck. And interesting. Well, I was thinking about horseshoes earlier, and I totally saw. I can see, having your luck pour down on you, but just like opposites, the duality, it could be either or. I mean, so I kind of, and that had me thinking. So if you had a horseshoe and you were hanging it in your house, it seems like inside you would want to. For me, I think you would want to hang it where the hoofs are up, so your luck stays in and it's flowing upwards and it constantly circulates around your house. And as it gets dense from the top, it filters down, kind of like a heavy smoke would. So you always have good luck inside your house. And then if you were outside, you would hang it outside just so you always had good luck always when you're outside. Just my thoughts. I was thinking about that.
And that's cool. Yeah, because I've got people hang them on their doorways at the front of their house as well. I don't think many people put them on their oven like I do. It just seemed appropriate.
Well, I ponder if the whole thing of having the horseshoe where the U is facing down, if that has something to do with how it looks like the omega symbol. Isn't that correct?
I can see that.
I'm just trying to picture an omega.
That the omega is the upside down U?
Oh, right. Gotcha. Yep. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, you'd think that, eh? Gee, give me a lot to think about when you say things I don't know. I learn something new every day. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, then I will because I was in chat earlier. Things I remember when we were talking about the number 4. 4 is one of those repeated angel numbers.
Oh. Yeah, lucky numbers. We never talked about that.
And the 4, if you look at it in that weird when you make a 4 and you just do like a straight line down and then you do the over to the side and back, that 4 is a sailboat.
Oh yeah, it is too. Yeah, I never thought of that either. Number 4.
So 4 is an interesting number. I haven't really done a lot with 4.
But basically, so 13 is considered unlucky, but we know it's actually lucky. So what other numbers? 7, 3?
I think everybody has their own individual mystic number. That's their lucky number. Like mine is 2. I mean, it has to be. It pops up too many places, and there are so many of thing, my basic birth chart and daily events, daily occurrences, that just two is all about me. But I think that's me. I think every person has their own number that's mystical to them. I mean, and to find that, just add your birth month, add your birthday, add your birth year, break all of those down individually, and then add them together until you get that one digit. And I'm curious if that's a mystical number for most people when they if that number that they break it down to, if that how that impacts them. Because again, I'm not an expert. I know very little. I know what I know with numbers.
I'll hand that
And
one over to
I use
Nese.
it to benefit myself. And so it's hard because I can see where numerology is like astrology. Because when you use numerology, it's all your numbers. What this means to you is how you interpret things on a scale of numbers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean the 13 planets. I mean, I was thinking when in chat earlier when that was going on, it's like, okay, 13 planets was Tiamat was one of them.
Oh, I don't know. Depends. What do you like? Nese, save me. It's round.
No, I mean,
Well, the other thing is,
like
if
I'm
you,
saying, I'm not an expert, but I'm wondering if there are 13 planets, is that system that has planet X, Nibiru, could that be one of our 13 planets?
Twilight music.
I'm sorry, Nase, you were going to say something?
well, I was going to say, if we think of adding in the sun in the calculation, so we got the sun 1, Mercury 2, Venus 3, Earth 4, Mars 5, then, well, for what you said, Tiamat 6, Jupiter 7, Uranus, Saturn, or no, Saturn, then Uranus. Wait, I always get them two mixed up.
My very excellent mother just served us 9 pizzas.
And then Neptune, and then Pluto. That would be 11.
And you got the sun.
Well, I counted that as 1.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess if you were counting the celestial bodies, the moon, I guess, from the Earth's perspective, would probably be considered a planetoid also. Because one thing that I do know about the original 7 Watchers were the first 7 planets that were actually visible with the naked eye.
So I follow that, and I can see that totally, and I can get Nibiru being planet X, the 13th planet. I mean, for the longest time, I've even read books that had planet X as the 10th planet. But if it really is 13, then the 13th planet.
Well, even if you go back and you see Godzilla versus Gigadon, that those entities were from Planet X and came down and abducted Godzilla to fight Gigadon.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then if you look in Worlds in Collision by Immanuel Velikovsky, he has some great references to cataclysms and possibilities of Nibiru, Planet X, Wormwood, the Red Dragon, the Blue Kachina.
Yeah.
Many names.
We could do a show just on that.
Absolutely. So, Jules, do you do anything for good luck? One thing that we do as Anishinaabe is we'll put a piece of cedar in our shoe.
If I do anything for good luck. That's an interesting question. I haven't really thought about it. Mm, I can't say that I do.
Oh, yeah, about the wearing clothing backwards. So every day that ends with Y, I put my underwear on backwards.
Oh, and I would say that
Right.
people wear their clothes backwards to conserve and get an extra day of wear. Not naming names, but years ago, I used to know people who actually that was a real thing. They would like, I'm staying the night at so and so's house. I'm wearing these backwards because I need to wear them tomorrow.
Mhm.
Oh dear, what a funny world we live in. Well, I certainly got to say that actually talking about Friday the 13th is different to just knowing that it is Friday the 13th. And like I said, I come away with some questions because when you really look behind the curtain, there's more to be said in certain areas,
Hmm.
as we've just received tonight. And the fact that it really was originally meant to be a lucky day. And maybe we should change that. Like maybe we should change it back to the lucky day. I think we should. We need as much luck as we can get at the moment. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if everybody went out tomorrow and everyone in the world found something lucky? Of any of those items that we saw, or they find a penny, they pick up a pencil, whatever. But wouldn't that be funny? And the world just has one lucky day all over, just for a change.
Well, if I can, in our last remaining minutes, because I'm going to have to be jumping off,
Yep, and I was going to wind it up anyway.
that everyone, all of you, incredible, miraculous perfection of unique individualisms, please, Degas, do what it is that you can to maintain positivity or minimally find neutrality and share the giggles when you can. And by the power of the almighty pinky toenail, I command thee to share the giggles.
And the birds are talking. And I want to thank everybody for joining us on this lucky Friday the 13th. And the birds
Yes,
agree with me.
thank
And I want
you
to thank
for
you, Jules, for coming in. Thank you,
thank you
Nate.
for a wonderful yarn again.
And thank you, everyone in the chat room that's joined us, and everyone that's watching it in the future. Woohoo! That's where we want to be, a happy, good,
Oh my
happy.
gosh, yes, I forgot. This was from the future. I finally time traveled. I did it.
So, yeah, anyway, and that's it. Thank you for joining us this Friday 13th. Hopefully we'll do more. Good luck on the next show. Everyone jump over to
Paranormal Portal.
Yep, please jump over there. Sorry, my
on YouTube or on
YouTube, yep, or YouTube's the easiest place to find them and go from there. I can put links in the description afterwards because I can't do it now. I'm not that good. I'm still learning. Thank you for being patient with me. But yeah, we'll see you over on Paranormal Portal, Nese, and thank you, Jules. Thank you, everyone, and have a really happy Friday the 13th.
Toodles.
Toodles. Yahoo.
Toodles.
Toodles.